wise global citizen Europe. In here, I will be interviewing people on their insights to solutions to the world's biggest problems. Hi everyone, so today's topic is overfishing. To start the conversation, I brought with me my rubber boots. When most people think of a fisherman, they think of someone wearing rubber boots with a fishing rod and a small net, catching fish for themselves to eat or to sell to make a living. Modern day fishing is nothing like this. Modern day fishing uses large, high-tech vessels the size of football fields, which use long, mile-long fishing lines and huge nets that trawl the ocean floors. Their lights can be seen from space. They also use large satellites to navigate and find their fish. They stay out on the ocean for months, fishing, processing, and freezing fish. Our guest today is doing great work to protect the oceans from overfishing and oil drilling. This is incredibly important because the way we're fishing today, the ocean will soon be empty. Overfishing means that we catch so many fish in such a short amount of time that the ocean cannot replenish itself. Already 90% of the ocean's large predators such as sharks and tunas have been killed. If one animal goes missing from the food web, the whole system may collapse. A healthy ocean ecosystem is incredibly important. Half of the oxygen in the atmosphere is produced by the ocean, and fish is a vital food source. Our guest today is a friend of mine who I've admired since I was 8 years old. Dr. Enric Sala is a resident explorer at National Geographic. He's also the founder of Pristine Seas. His goal is to protect critical marine ecosystems, and with 30 expeditions and explorations, him and his team have already created 22 marine conservation reserves, and I'm very thrilled that he has taken the time today to talk with us and share his solutions to save the world's oceans.
Protecting more of the ocean is like an insurance policy for humanity, because ocean life is a critical part of our life support system. Pristine Seas is a National Geographic initiative to work with communities and governments to help protect vital places in our ocean. We have been overexploiting the ocean for too long. And by doing that, we have diminished the ability of the ocean to provide for us and for the rest of life on the planet. Today, only 2.5% of the ocean is fully protected from fishing and other extractive activities like oil drilling and mining. And 7% of the ocean is under some level of protection. But the science is telling us, if we want to prevent a massive extinction of species and the collapse of our life support system, if we want the ocean to continue helping us absorb much of our carbon pollution, we need to protect 30% of the ocean by 2030. We go to the most remote places in the ocean, some of them uninhabited. We go to places with local communities whose livelihoods depend on the ocean, and we explore, we conduct scientific research, we film. We bring that underwater world not only to the communities, but also to the leaders of those countries. And the result tends to be the creation of a marine reserve that not only is going to make nature thrive, but also people. In the last 12 years, we have helped to protect 22 marine reserves around the world, from the poles to the tropics. I have seen marine life recover spectacularly in these marine reserves. I've seen places go from degraded to almost pristine in just a few years. And when the fish come back, they help replenish the fishing grounds around them. And also they bring tourism, which helps create jobs and brings in economic revenue. But it's not just the people living near the sea. It's all of humanity that benefits from saving some of the last wild places in the ocean, to restore the ocean's vitality, and to give the space for nature to thrive.
Hi, Dr.
Sala, so nice to have you here, and I'm really excited for you to talk to us a little bit about pristine seas and ocean conservation.
Hi, Marie. Such a pleasure to see you.
So, would you mind telling us a little bit about just the issue of why we need ocean conservation and what you and Pristine Seas are doing?
Yeah, so basically, when you think about what we need to survive, everything we need to survive depends on the work of other species. The food we eat, the clean water we drink, hopefully filtered by a healthy forest, the oxygen we breathe, produced by forest, but also and mostly
Mainly the
by
ocean and
mainly the ocean,
plankton, right?
right?
Yeah.
Plankton, including bacteria and microscopic algae. So we could not live on this planet without all these natural ecosystems, all these species working together for free for us, right? But we take it for granted. So the problem is that we are not helping the ocean help us. And there are three main things that we have been doing to the ocean. One is we are taking fish faster than they can reproduce.
Overfishing.
That's what's called overfishing, right? And that's clearly not sustainable. Second, we are making the ocean water warmer and more acidic because of our man-made global warming. And third, pollution. We are throwing in the ocean everything we don't want. And the most conspicuous thing, the most visible thing, of course, is plastic. You are a surfer, you've seen plastic in the ocean.
Yeah.
But most of the plastic in the ocean we cannot see because it's in microscopic particles. So we've turned the ocean into a plastic soup. So
And that's also the hard, you can't really pick that up easily. When I'm surfing, I can pick up a old piece of balloon and stuff it in my wetsuit and throw it out later, but I can't pick up the minuscule pieces in the sand.
Exactly. Or that microscopic particles that are floating underwater. It's impossible to clean. So this is affecting marine life. We are killing marine life, sea turtles, sharks, whales, dolphins, lots of fish all around the world. So we are making the ocean less able to provide all these benefits for us. So that's why we need ocean conservation. But today, only 7% of the ocean is in marine protected areas that have some kind of protection. And it's not enough, right? The science is telling us that we need at least 30% of the ocean protected from fishing and other damaging activities by 2030. That's why I founded Pristine Seas, a project that we started 12 years ago.
Wow, already 12 years.
Already 12 years, yeah. I didn't have much gray hair when I started. Now I look a little like your dad. This is why I don't grow my beard. You look too white. So 12 years ago, we started working with National Geographic, combining exploration. We do expeditions to some of the most remote places in the ocean. We do scientific research. We measure how healthy these places are compared to the rest of the ocean. And then we produce films and magazine articles and lots of social media. And with this, with the science and the media, we work with communities to inspire country leaders to protect these places in what we call marine reserves or national parks in the sea. So that's what we've been doing for the last 12 years.
Pretty amazing. And I still have that flash drive that I think you gave me 5 years ago with a bunch of your expeditions on them.
We need to update that because we've been to a few more places. So I'll send you a link so you can see the new.
I would like that a lot. And then what can teenagers or just anyone specifically do on an everyday basis to kind of help with all these issues that you mentioned that are threatening our oceans?
There are so many things that people can do, right? But people get tired and confused because you have to use less energy. So bike or walk instead of using the car and change your light bulbs. And it's so much stuff. So I like to tell people, especially young people, one thing. There's one thing you can do that is good for your health and good for the planet. And that is eat more plants and less animals. A plant-based diet. That would mean that, do you know that 40% of the land in the United States is used to raise livestock?
I actually thought it was more.
It's crazy.
is that also counting the land they use to grow the crops to feed the animals, or
Yeah,
just?
but mostly grazing.
Yeah,
The
that's
land used
crazy.
to feed the crops is small compared to the land that
Mhm.
is used for grazing. So we don't need to eat so much animal protein, so much meat, because most of the proteins that we need and the nutrients that we need, we can get it from plants. Livestock, raising livestock like beef or sheep, it takes so much land and so much fresh water, right?
Yeah,
That if we ate more plants instead, the land that we use to produce our food would be smaller. So
yeah,
all that extra land, we could give it back to nature. No
that
more
would be
protected
really
areas, more national parks, and nature would provide many more benefits to us. We would save also on fresh water. We would save on antibiotics that people, especially in the United States, use for cattle. And also, you know that cows, and especially cows, they produce a lot of methane, mostly
by
through burping.
farting.
So livestock is a huge contributor to climate change.
Hmm.
So there you go. Eat more plants, less animals. We would have more land for nature. Our food will be healthier and safer. And also we would help to mitigate the impacts of climate change. That's what
Yeah,
I do. That's what I recommend young people to do as well.
that's really great. And I have one last question. When it comes to overfishing and eating fish, um, where should people buy their fish instead of just stopping to eat all fish? Like, lessen the amount they eat, but also, is it better to get it from like local fishers, or is there specific like apps you can use to figure out where your fish comes from?
Yeah, there is a bunch of apps that you can find online. There is one, for example, the Monterey Bay um, aquarium has an app, the Seafood Choice Guide. It tells you, you can use it on your phone, and when you go to the store or the restaurants, whenever people go back to restaurants, you can type the name of the fish that they are offering, and you can see if it's sustainable or not, and you can make a decision, right?
That's
But
really cool.
as a rule of thumb, the lower in the food chain you eat, the better, which means the big fish, the big predators that are on top of
Yeah.
the food chain, like sharks and tuna and groupers, these are the ones that are ecologically most vulnerable. And
Uh-huh.
usually these are the ones that are most overfished and that are less sustainable. So the lower you can eat on the
The
food
best.
chain, the better.
Maybe we should just start eating plankton.
Well, there is a restaurant in Spain where this very creative chef already has been able to grow plankton that
Wow.
creates the bioluminescence, right? The sparkly
Hmm.
stuff. So he has a drink that has plankton with bioluminescence. So it,
That's
this, this,
cool.
this will come.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Thank you so much, Marie. And I hope that you will continue with your great work and you will continue raising awareness and recruiting many more of your surfer friends
Yes.
to help us keep the ocean safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.